Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Yinzer Bartender. Today we're going to talk about wine, and specifically decanting wine, and why you should or shouldn't decant. It comes around a lot, especially when you go out to restaurants. You'll have a lot of your servers and bartenders, you order a nice bottle of wine, they'll ask, would you like this wine decanted? If you don't know, just say, yeah, sure, no problem. Because a lot of the wines that you find in restaurants, especially the big Silver Oaks and Napa Valley stuff, you're not getting a lot of aged stuff. But with the younger wines, decanting also opens them up and brings them the bright fruit and so forth forward. So even though it's not necessarily an older wine, the younger wines, it benefits from decanting to opening up the fruit. First, we're going to start off here. A few different types of decanters I have. I was given these as a present at one point in time. This is by Venturi. It is for basically whenever you open a bottle of wine, you hold this over top of your glass. They also sell this little mechanism that goes over top that would just set in top, and you set your wine glass underneath and you can pour straight through. This has some air holes on this side that lets the air in, the wine flows through, the air comes in and hits it and makes this gurgling sound, and it comes out the bottom into your glass, and it's essentially a glass aerator. I have two of these. One is for whites, one is for reds. I'm going to take this white one and set this over here. This one is for your reds. Also, same concept, has the air holes on the side. This one has a little screen inside of it to catch any type of residual sediment. If you get into some bigger, older wines, you're going to have the sediment and so forth in there. Also in the younger wines, because it hasn't actually broke down yet from the alcohol and from the yeast, since wine is a living organism in the bottle to the day you open it. Why wine will taste better today than it will yesterday, or better tomorrow than it did today. It keeps going. It's ever living organism. This guy right here, like I said, you hold it on top of your glass. If you have any residual sediment over through the screen, it's going to funnel down, and then you make this little gurgling noise as it comes down into your glass. It's going to open it up. It's quick. It's easy. A lot of people get really scared when it comes to decanting wine because they may not know how to do it, but I'm going to show you how to do that right now. First thing we're going to do is you're going to pick a bottle of wine. We have picked out here a 2018 Old Vine Zinfandel from Lodi, which is out of California. It's Central Coast, in between Santa Barbara and Napa, south of San Francisco. Now, Old Vine Zinfandel, excellent wine. It's going to be a deep red, black currants. You're going to have great flavor through this, a little bit of tobacco maybe. We're not sure yet because we haven't tasted it, but that's a basis of your Old Vine Zin. It's going to be a little drier, a little more tannic as well. So this being a young wine at a 2018, this will benefit from decanting and let it open up, okay? So first thing you got to do is, how are you going to open your bottle of wine? Well, there's a few things that we have around. This right here is your little snazzy dazzy doohickey to do over top of your foil to take the foil off. I don't like these. I'll show you why. Because whenever you do this, it cuts around the top lip. Inside the wine bottle, at the end of the bottle, there's a bottom lip and then there's a top lip right here. I'll show you why you want to cut below the bottom lip and not just the top lip. So I'm going to set that off to the side because I don't like that one. This here, quick, easy, boom, rabbit hole, punch it down, pop, cork comes right out. You're at home, you're not trying to impress anybody, it doesn't matter. Amanda, she likes fun things that go glow in the dark. This one right here, you just push the button, goes down in the cork, you push it one way, screws down, you push it the other way, pulls the cork right out with it. She likes it. As long as she's happy, that's all that makes me happy, right? So we're going to set that off. I go old school, wine screw, 2-stage, with the little knife up top. This is how I like to do it. It's how I do it in restaurants and bars. It fits perfectly right in my back pocket. You can tell which pants I wear to work because I always have the little rip right where the wine key goes in my back pocket. So I mentioned about opening the bottle of wine. First you're going to do, you have, like I said, the two lips right here, right top. Take your little serrated knife right here, underneath the bottom lip. You're going to go around this way. Now, technically in a restaurant, you shouldn't twist the bottle all the way around. You should always keep the label facing out, but we're at home. So, you're down below the lip. Now, the reason why you want to be below that lip is because this top lip, whenever you pour wine into the glass, if you're not going to decant it, you're pouring right out of the bottle, any little droplet will edge up on there and it will go right around the bottom and it won't run down the side of the bottle as long as it's just a little drop. Alright? That's why you want to get below the bottom lip. Corkscrew right in. We're going to go right in the center. Boom, right on the angle. In. We're going to twist this guy around. And we're here. Now this is a 2-stage wine key. This makes breaking corks almost non-existent. Because we're going to come down. You got your first stage. You're going to hold your fingers right there on the end. We're going to lift up. And we got to the second stage. Right here for you. Put your fingers right there. And you pull up. And you just want to hear that little air press. You don't want to hear the pop. When you hear the pop, it just doesn't sound cool. You know, it doesn't do it right. We take the cork off, look at it. You know what? A lot of people smell the cork. All you're going to smell is cork. You're not really smelling the wine, tasting anything else. You're feeling the cork to see, make sure it was stored properly, make sure the cork's not dried out, and so forth. Now, before you decant your wine, you kind of want to taste it and see if you need to decant it. So my assistant over here is going to hand me this wonderful little tasting wine glass. Now this is not a glass I necessarily use for this wine, but we'll go over that in another video. Pour a little bit right in here. Give a little swirl. Yeah, very good. Like I said, this is a young wine, and that's why we're going to decant it. So, properly to decant your wine, you have your decanter. Several different shapes that you have. This is the one I have and the one I like a lot. You don't want to just pour glug 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 right in there. It's not gonna do it any justice. So what you want to do is you want to set the, if you're new to this, you can start off by setting the bottle right here on the lip, and you want to pour it right in the front and let it balloon down the side. So we're going to do that. Right down the side, it's going to balloon out. Now you can edge your bottle back a little bit to get a nice flow. See how that balloons out beautifully down the bottom? And it's aerating the wine. It's doing a wonderful job doing so. Now we're about halfway through. And we come through and you get this nice steady stream of the wine coming right down, ballooning out beautifully. Now this is a young wine. We're going to go ahead and do this all the way to the end. And we have all the wine out. A little twist. Look at the top. See, that's why that lip's there. A little drab, just right on that lip, right there. Boom. So now it's not going to run down the bottle at all. This is how you decant your wine. This is how I like to decant my wine. Also, with your older bottles, you might want to find yourself, like this Venturi over here has a little screen inside. You can buy a screen that fits inside of your decanter that will, for your older wines and even your younger wines, that will stop your sediment from going into the decanter. Also, what's nice about the decanter is the sediment will still go into the bottom, and you can just look up here and take a look at it, and when you're pouring this, you'll see the sediment. Now, another thing I like to do with the wine once I get in the decanter is give it a few swirls. Just that flick of the wrist like this, get it going, let it open up. And then you're just going to let it sit. You're going to let this sit for about 15 minutes to a half an hour, depending on the wine you're drinking. If you're drinking a French Bordeaux that's from the 80s, early 80s or prior, you're going to want to let this sit probably a good hour, hour and a half. This is young wine, like I said, 15, 20 minutes, no problem. The other thing is with the decanting is once you pour it in the decanter, you're committed to the whole bottle, folks. So either you're going to have a hell of a night by yourself on this bottle, or you have friends to share it with. Either way, it's enjoyable, and it's also something fun that when you have friends over and you do this at home, like, oh wow, that's really cool. Restaurants, like I said, if anybody, a server or bartender at a restaurant asks if you'd like your bottle of wine decanted, by all means say, sure, please decant that for us. Because it looks cool if you're there hosting guests or even by yourself. And again, whether it be a younger wine or an older wine, is going to benefit from it. Alright? This has been your Yinzer Bartender. We're doing wine decanting. Next video, we're going to show you probably shortly after this on glassware and service. Alright, folks? Check us out. YouTube. We'll be back.